Well, I'm so pleased to present to you Vince Forte, Jr. He is an artist, and he has an exhibition over at Quackenbush Square over in Albany. And he brought one of his paintings with us, and he's brought a few other photographs of his paintings. And we'll be taking a look at that and find out a little bit more about this, our guest artist here. How long have you been doing art?
I've been doing it for about 30 years now.
30 years?
Yes.
You started out squiggling in the classroom, or?
No. I grew up watching my dad do art. He was very artistic. He did bronze work in the area, bronze sculptures and paintings.
In your write-up, you mentioned Erastus Corning.
Yes. Yes, he did a sculpture of Erastus Corning. He did a bust and he did a full figure. And
that's on exhibit?
No, Corning is not on exhibit,
but
it could be if somebody wanted it. I took the full figure, and as an artisan, he sculpted it. But as an artisan, after he passed away, I put it into bronze. So it hadn't been bronzed yet.
Okay.
He also did Henry Johnson, a couple of bronze busts.
And there's a Henry Johnson Boulevard.
Yes,
in Albany,
and his bronze bust is at each end of the boulevard.
Okay.
On display in the parks at each end.
So now, are you a bronze sculptor? You're
not.
You can bronze something,
but I finished off the works that were in progress while he was.
Right. Now there is a painting next to you.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your inspiration behind this?
Well, this is a scene in Vermont, not far from here, and it's just a stream that's slightly over its banks, flooded, and I just enjoyed the scene and the quietness of it.
And that's done in oils, right?
It's all oil.
Oils, yeah. I see that. And you brought some photographs of some of your work,
yes.
And I'm really impressed with it.
Well, thank you.
Can you perhaps show that? Some there. And this is a still life.
So this is a still life. I call it beginning to end, because you see the tulip bulbs on the table, and the tulips in the pot. And then one is wilting, so beginning to end. This still life is part of the show that's in Albany currently at the Albany Historical Heritage.
Yeah, I know what it is. And then this looks like a nice winter scene.
Thank you. Yes, another scene from up in the hill towns around Albany.
Now, do you take a photograph and then go home and do it, or are you one of these people that stands out there in the frigid weather painting? Tell me.
I try not to stand out there in the frigid weather. I do go out in the nicer weather.
There's a name for that when you do it on
plein air
site.
painting.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I do that. I also take photographs of for my own reference. I don't work from the photograph, but I'll use it to remember what it was like to be there, and then I'll paint from that.
I see. Okay, and then this is another. This looks like a still life as well.
Another still life. These are old tools that were my grandfather's. I call it the old man's tools.
Now, I love what you just said about your naming them. When you name a picture, do you do a painting and then name it, or do you have an idea of what it's going to be before? When do you name your paintings?
I normally name them after I finish them.
Okay. What inspiration you get after you look at it, right?
The inspiration is already percolating as I'm painting. I already have concepts, but it's like the highlights in the painting. The title is the highlight of the painting.
Yeah.
So the highlights go on last, and basically the title goes on last usually. There have been a couple that I had the painting title and concept way in advance, and then it was just a matter of what do I do. I've been asked to do commissions on occasion, and some of these things are different. Do
you do portraits?
I do. Yes,
okay.
I have done portraits. I'm working on one of St. Catherine Tikawitha. It's in the sketch form, I've been too busy to get to it.
Of course, now that she's a saint,
yes.
You're going to...
I have to finish.
You have to finish it, really.
Yes. But I also have one of Joseph Henry, which is about 80% complete right now, and it's Joseph Henry was born in Albany. The unit of inductance is named for him, the Henry.
Okay.
And he was the first head of the Smithsonian Institution when the Smithsonian was the R&D center for the country. But he's an Albanian. So I'm doing an oil painting of him.
And we
as
kind
part
of
a
forget
series
that
of
there are
Albany.
people that are local that are pretty prominent, aren't they? We need to recognize
We were a
them.
science center before in the 1800s,
Yeah.
mid-1800s.
Yeah. And now, am I understanding that you do a lot with Dutch history, or is that?
That's this show.
Okay.
So this show is celebrating Fort Nassau, which was the first Dutch settlement of Albany, 1614. And as part of that, I've done 3 paintings of the fort based on the only description that we have, a historical description of somebody who was there when it was built. So I also have Dutch-themed paintings as part of the show, but it's all in celebration of the 400th anniversary. Fort Nassau was before Fort Orange, before Fort Frederick.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yep.
I always say Fort Orange was the first, but you're absolutely right. Yeah. Now, speaking of the Dutch heritage, of course, in Schenectady is the Stockade, which is the oldest recognized historic site, I guess, in the nation even. Do you ever go there and do any paintings of any of those buildings?
I haven't. I've gone through and enjoyed the neighborhood and walked through several times. I do plan to paint plein air in the Stockade area over the next several months to a year.
But I mean, those are some incredible buildings.
Beautiful area.
Yeah, I mean,
It
and
is.
each one seems to be a little bit different. It's not like they're all the
Yes,
same.
that's right.
Yeah, and of course, we certainly have such a strong Dutch heritage in our community. I mean, let's face it. You know, old Kinderhook and all the
Yes.
all of them out there. When you do the Dutch history, are you doing just buildings, or you're doing portraits as well? And
I haven't done any Dutch portraits
Okay.
with a Dutch theme,
Okay.
and I hadn't thought about that. That's a good idea, actually, to do that. My portraits have been more towards the religious and the historic figures of more recent times, like Joseph Henry.
now your exhibit opens today. Is that correct?
It opens today.
The 9th. Okay,
Yes, and it
September
runs
9th. And it-
through November 2nd.
through November 2nd. And when can they see it?
They can go there any day of the week. In fact, let me tell you the times.
Sure.
The Albany Heritage Area Visitor Center is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, Saturdays from 10 to 3, and Sundays from 11 to 3.
And are your paintings for sale there? Or
They are for
just
sale
look
there.
at?
You can go and look at them for free
Yeah, okay.
and enjoy the show.
If you want to take one
if you wanna
home,
take
you better
one
write a
home,
check, right?
and they will take care of that while you're there.
How wonderful. Vince Forte Jr., because his father was an artist as well. Check out his exhibition. I love artists. I wish I had, like this little teeny bit of talent to do anything. I can just take a pencil and write my name. That's about as far as my artistic ability goes. We're going to thanks so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Thanks for bringing your painting. It's just absolutely gorgeous.